Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Coinsider live stream. Just like every single Friday, we're going to be taking a look at the crypto markets, see what's happening around Bitcoin, Ethereum, the ETH ETF, a whole lot of bullish catalysts coming soon, coming through very soon. But first and foremost, just some formalities. My name is Josh. I'm here with my partner Kevin, and just a quick mic check. If you can tell us in the comments, how is our
Mic
mic
check,
sound?
mic check, mic check. I think it sounds good, but hopefully they write in the chat that it sounds good to them as well.
Amazing, amazing. So as I mentioned, every single Friday, we're coming live to you at the same time, bringing you the best crypto alpha, crypto news, crypto updates. But if you want to stay up to date with everything we're doing, everything we're investing in, we have our retail investors DAO, which signups are now open for. You can find that in the description. So go ahead and take a look at that. If you want to connect with me, Kevin, and all of our community on a personal basis, completely for free, join the retail investors
Exactly. That
DAO.
place is popping. The Discord is popping. I'm loving the alpha that's flowing, even though the market's not crazy right now. So, um, like it's expected that activity is lower than usual. But my goodness, like still there's great alpha being shared. And imagine when the bull run comes back, the alpha is going to be flowing like no other. It's going to be a fire hose of alpha that
That's right.
y'all are going to have to parse because it's going to be some gems in there that I'm sure of.
Yes, 100%. And when we look at some of the things we're looking at today, you want to be positioning yourself for when the market comes back. And the best way to have an edge in this is by having a strong community, getting as much alpha and information as you possibly can. And that increases your chances of success during the bull market. So let's get right into it. Today, we're going to be asking ourselves the question, is the Bitcoin bottom in? Kevin, do you think the Bitcoin bottom is in, the crypto bottom?
Um, you know what? I give it a 50-50 chance. I was quite bearish last week or the past 2 weeks. But this recent move back up and also some fundamental catalysts that we're about to look at in a bit. Yeah, that is making me change my mind, to be honest. Like I was the bear in this stream for the past two streams,
Yeah.
but now like some stuff we're about to look at together, I think I'm changing my mind and I'm less bearish than before. So if you're asking me, is the bottom in? I give it a 50-50 chance. Whereas if you asked me a week ago, I would say like 20% chance that the bottom is in. So basically, my probability that the bottom is in has gone up significantly.
And now that says a lot coming from Kevin, because as he mentioned, he takes the bear stance in a lot of these situations, whereas I'm more of the bull stance. So let's actually go ahead and get right into it. Starting off with the Bitcoin price, sitting at that 58K level right now. We've
Can you
actually
zoom out to
seen,
7 day?
yeah, yeah, good call. Yeah, so we've had a pretty decent pump in the last day here, up to that 58K level. If we hop open to the trading view chart, you can see these are the same channels we made 2 episodes ago, right? And as you can
We
see,
broke down,
we
yeah.
broke down exactly. We broke down under that 200-day SMA, which stands as sort of the bull market support line, which is scary to see. But we also still have this trend line that we're going to hit, that we sort of bounced off of. And right now, there's a few different narratives floating around the market, whether we are at the bottom or whether we're moving up. So I actually want to go ahead and start with this right here. So the biggest FUD around Bitcoin, around crypto, has of course been the Mt. Gox selling, as well as Germany selling off a large portion of their Bitcoin holdings. But if you go ahead and see the ETF inflows, it's wild because essentially the ETFs are buying up the bags that Mt. Gox and Germany are essentially selling off. Now, my stance on this is that the Germany and Mt. Gox FUD is going to start to dwindle, and already is starting to dwindle. And very soon, you won't be seeing that as a major overhang FUD, because as you can see here, institutions are starting to pick up buying at these levels. They're happy accumulating at these levels. So they must believe the bottom, if not in, is very close. And that's one thing I like to look at, as they say, follow the money. So in just a 4-day span, almost $1 billion worth of Bitcoin was bought up by institutions. And this is as Germany is selling off. This is as the Mt. Gox distributions
Yeah,
are taking place. So that's one thing I like to see. So I would think that Wall Street, knows something, or they're pretty sophisticated investors. So I like to see what's going on with that. So inflows are
I like
starting to
that
pick up
too.
again.
Yeah, so something people were saying is like Germany was selling pretty fast.
Yeah,
So very soon they're gonna have 0 Bitcoin left to sell. And as when that selling's over, people are gonna know that there's no more forced selling coming, and that is the sky's the open sky
that's
for
right.
the Bitcoin price after that happens.
That is right. And as I mentioned on the last episode, what I like to do is be a contrarian. We saw a lot of that FUD coming in from Mt. Gox and from Germany. And a lot of the time, these events are priced in before they even happen, right? As a big reaction to the market. So I like to be a contrarian. And I started accumulating slowly. And as you can see now, Wall Street is getting involved again with the ETFs. We have the ETH ETF imminent as well. And, when in doubt, zoom out. So also, Kevin, what are you thinking about the ETH ETF now that that is so close? What are your thoughts on Ethereum? We can go ahead and take a look at the Ethereum price here.
Yeah, so I think ETH ETF is going to be structurally good for ETH. Like it's going to bring in net inflows to ETH. So it's obviously going to help in the long run, but in the short run, I think what matters more are some other bullish catalysts that we're about to talk about, such as inflation or such as political stuff, because that kind of those things control the broader context, right? And then if the context is good, then the ETH ETF will make ETH rocket. If the context is bad, then it's going to take longer for the ETF's effects to like kind of see those effects take place. So yeah, this was from a few days ago, but CPI comes in cool, less than expected. It falls 0.1%, and core just a 0.1% increase, which is less than what was projected by the economists. So what does this mean? If inflation is lower than expected and this holds for like multiple periods, then that means the Fed has the green light to do rate cuts. Because what Chairman Powell said was that they want to see more sustainable, cool inflation before doing rate cuts. Because if they cut too soon, inflation may go up again, and that's the last thing they want. They don't want high inflation, right? That's the reason they did rate cuts in the first place, or the reason why they did rate hikes in the first place. So that is very promising to see that. And if they do rate cuts, then that means you get less interest on your dollars sitting at the banks, and or like with treasury notes, and then that means risk assets are looking much better. Like if it's back down to zero again someday, everyone's going to want to buy Bitcoin and altcoins and meme coins and whatever meme stocks, right? That's the environment that we were in before. So
Good
yeah.
point. Good point. Yeah, it's always great to see inflation steadily coming down. Definitely has good effects on our precious risk assets, right? Which is crypto. So in that same sort of stratosphere, we have the Ethereum ETF coming out soon. I saw this chart over here, pardon me, and this made me actually quite bullish for what happens following the ETH ETF. So essentially, shout out to Elio Trades. I saw him mention this. Ethereum ETF is like an altcoin trading on the stock market, right? And so when you look at Wall Street investors and VCs, how they price in tech companies, they're using things like user count, right? Daily active users, transaction count. And when we take a look at this chart right here, we have the Ethereum ecosystem transaction chart, and you can see it's parabolic, right? This is from
I love
Q1
this.
2020, Q1 2020 to Q2 of 2024. And this includes everything underneath Ethereum, you know, Optimism, Arbitrum, ZK Sync, Base, let alone the plethora of other Ethereum layer 2s underneath, right, which can also drive this number up more parabolically. So when looking at an Ethereum ETF trading on the stock market and how Wall Street trades new innovative tech companies, because this is what Ethereum is, it's a technology, right? And when you look at the transaction count, you look at the users, usually tech stocks trade at heavy multiples above their actual value, right? And I believe this is something that's very bullish for the Ethereum ETF, and that could have honestly a cascade effect into our altcoins and spark actually the most vicious altcoin season we may have seen in a long time. Because I'm taking you now over to this chart over here, where you can see that we are at multi-year support levels for altcoin dominance, right? And so with the catalyst that we have coming up, plus the FUD that got us pretty much to where we are right now, I'm definitely accumulating. I see this as an accumulation zone. I wouldn't say the bottom is in, but I would say it's close. It could actually even be in. So as I mentioned, Ethereum ETF, that trading like a tech company, the amount of value we can see for the inflows into ETH, I think can surprise a lot of people, even in comparison with the Bitcoin ETF. And the cascade effect from that, I believe, can be bigger than many bears and analysts are giving credit for. So that's one thing I've been watching close. These
Can you
things
go
have
back to
me.
that chart, by the way?
Yep, this one right here.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I want to touch on this for a bit because
okay.
And I think I'm guilty of this too, but a lot of people have been comparing ETH versus Sol, Ethereum versus Solana recently, and they're like, Solana has so much adoption on their chain, like growing really fast, faster than ETH.
Right.
But that's not taking into account this, right? The Ethereum ecosystem, because the whole idea is for the layer 2s to also be counted or grouped together as part of the Ethereum umbrella per se. So if we account for all of this, then it probably blows Solana out of the water. Actually, I don't know the exact numbers. Maybe Solana's meme coins are still doing a lot.
You nailed it.
Yeah. But then on the other hand, the question is if those other L2s are doing successful, if those other L2s are doing well, does it actually benefit Ethereum and ETH's price? That's an open question, which maybe it doesn't.
Maybe it doesn't. In a way, I feel like it can, if not like maybe not directly. I love what you did by comparing ETH to Sol, because you're looking at it the way it should be looked at, which is as a technology, right? Which other entities can leverage, right? Like the layer 2s. And as I mentioned earlier, I believe that's how TradFi prices in tech stocks, right?
Yeah.
And I believe that that's where the value is for Ethereum. Value capture, it may not be directly, as you said, from the layer 2s, maybe bringing value and liquidity back to the main Ethereum, but the technology that Ethereum is and the speculation on that, and now that it's trading as a legitimate asset on Wall Street, I believe.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's
the value that's gonna be added, right?
By the way, can you pull up Adam Puth's comment on the screen, just so we can touch on that real quick?
Yes, let me pull this up here. Are you bullish or bearish in the short term? Do you want to go first, or should I take this one first?
You can go first.
All right. So I would say for the short term, I am actually bullish, to be honest with you. I believe as I mentioned earlier in the video, the FUD from the Mt. Gox in Germany, I believe is actually already priced in. Unless we have some sort of other black swan event happen, I believe most of what's happening next are bullish catalysts. I mean, Kevin showed me this earlier. If I can quickly pop over here, we literally have Donald Trump going to the Bitcoin conference. We have the elections coming up. We have the Ethereum ETF coming up, and I showed you a lot of the speculation around that and the possible cascade effect that it can have for altcoins. I showed you this over here, which shows multi-year support level for altcoins. So I would say for the short term, I'm still technically bullish. I may be playing my strategy a little bit differently. As I mentioned last week, I'm accumulating slowly. I'm not going in all at once, but I am bullish for the short term, for the medium term, and I guess for the long term. Yeah, Kevin, we can hear your take.
To be honest, I'm more neutral right now. I was bearish for the past 2 weeks. I'm more neutral now for the reasons why we talked about.
Mhm.
I would love to see Bitcoin recapture 60K and chop around there. If it doesn't, maybe I'll be a little bit more bearish. But on the Donald Trump news, I think that's huge news. And someone said that it's not like 100% confirmed, but that they said there was some event he's going to. So it seems like, I mean, it's a legit announcement, but
It's
yeah,
from them.
it
Yeah.
hopefully he makes it and he goes, because I think that would be amazing. And now crypto is officially in the mainstream of politics, like as mainstream as you can get. Oh, and there was another thing. There was a roundtable, a bipartisan roundtable, for talking about crypto, and Mark Cuban was there. Even Democratic representatives like Ro Khanna from Silicon Valley was there, and even Biden's senior advisor was there. And when
Wow.
they were complaining to her about like all the mistreatment that the SEC has done to the industry, they said that she seemed like genuinely shocked and didn't know that was going on. So hopefully, even before there's a potential administration change, the Biden admin can see how stupid it is of them to let the SEC do what Gary Gensler is doing and just pull back a bit. And that actually relates to the last point. If you want to bring up that last tweet about the BUSD, and you can also take away this comment when you get a chance.
Oops.
Yep, perfect. Yes. So maybe this is part of the thing. The SEC is feeling the pressure of not being such dicks to our industry, essentially.
Yeah.
And they officially ended the investigation into stablecoin issuer Paxos. Remember, they made Paxos and Binance unwind all of BUSD, which was a $20 billion stablecoin, if I'm not getting the numbers wrong. It unwound smoothly. No one lost a single penny. And yet they kind of forced them to do this, and now they ended the investigation, and these stable coins are not a security, which it was kind of stupid to call stable coins a security in the first place. I mean, I get the kind of technical reasons why they're like, oh, they're money market funds managed for you. But when we buy stable coins, there's zero expectation of profits. Like, we're holding stable coins to be stable. We're not really making money on them. So it's really, and yeah, I know they said that you don't have to use the Howey test to be a security, but still, it's kind of there. It's just getting really stretched, in my
Yep.
opinion, when they called a stable coin a security. Like, Jesus.
Our boy Gary Gensler, it's just ridiculous. But I like what you said. They are feeling the pressure, And you saw how Gary. I'm not sure if you remember that interview when Gary was in. He was. I can't remember the case. He was in court getting pretty much grilled for basically hindering the growth of a new technology within the U.S. Right? When you see airdrops take place, the U.S. is always banned pretty much from
Yeah,
airdrops or from
exactly.
all sort of different things. Everyone has to tread lightly. A lot of the time, U.S. customers are not eligible to use certain exchanges and certain crypto products, and it's just because of the heavy scrutiny that Gary and his team has been putting on crypto and on altcoins, different companies. So it's good to see these things finally start to take place, and hopefully after the next election, we have more clear regulatory sort of standards within crypto for coins to be able to thrive and different new ecosystems to be able to thrive. So moving right along, we can go ahead and check out, I believe it was this tweet here. So While painful in the short term, distributions of the Mt. Gox reserve and government sales remove the annoying supply overhang, helping distribute coins to a wider array of holders, thereby growing the network and leaving Bitcoin better off than it was before. I kind of like this point here, saying pretty much decentralizing the holder base even further because Germany held so much, Mt. Gox held so much, and
Yeah.
now those tokens are going to be more widespread and it's healthier for Bitcoin in the long term. What do you think about this take?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense. And also I saw a tweet. No, I'm not gonna bring it up because I don't even remember. But they're just saying it was a contrarian tweet about the Mt. Gox thing,
Right.
saying that they don't think that the people who hold these Mt. Gox coins or have claims to them are going to just dump immediately because for various reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing I also saw, another take was that Mt. Gox recipients, also tying into the ETH narrative, Mt. Gox recipients are up essentially over 100x and maybe looking actually to rotate into altcoins and seeing a reversal in altcoin dominance in that chart I had showed you before. Do you think that that's sort of a likely scenario?
Can you say that again?
So basically, the narrative was that Mt. Gox recipients would sell off their Bitcoin for altcoins. Maybe not all of it, but we'll see that dominance start to flip the altcoin, Bitcoin altcoin dominance.
No, I don't see the connection personally. Like, I feel like okay, because think about the people who hold these Mt. Gox coins or have claims to them. It's the retail people who bought it like almost a decade ago or something like that. And then also like the institutions who like bought the claims on the secondary market. Neither of them seem like the kind of people who are going to speculate on altcoins to me. The Bitcoiners who got it is like the OG ones,
Right.
and they probably just like Bitcoin.
Fair
And
say.
the institutions, they're definitely not going to gamble on altcoins. I mean, they could, but I would say that most of them probably aren't the type to do that, in my opinion.
Fair say. Fair say. All right. So now we have this comment here. Biden White House has been aggressive against the industry themselves too. So I am a bit skeptical about the White House representative being shocked about all of this.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
If you're acquiring Bitcoin to gain dollars, you haven't done enough research. The goal is to acquire more Satoshis. Prediction here: Bitcoin to 41K and then to 127K in July 2026.
Dang, this guy must be like, think he's like Nostradamus or something.
He has the crystal ball. All right. Okay, so pretty much that I'd say that was a pretty solid macro look at the markets. Now going into micro, when we have these, as I mentioned, potential bottoms for altcoins, what I like to do is try and find narratives that I'm most bullish on. I won't go directly.
Yeah,
for
that's
the
a great
coins.
idea.
I won't go directly for the coins, but I'll zoom out, start with my favorite narratives, and then I'll take a look at the strongest performing assets underneath each narrative in each sector and potentially find entries there. So, Kevin, what would you say is your top 3 favorite crypto narratives for this current market, what we're looking at? What narratives are you most bullish on?
Great question. And can you take away the comment too?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I keep on forgetting.
It's okay. Top narratives and sectors. I guess those two have big overlap, so I'm going to group them together. AI crypto, of course, regardless of how I feel about the individual projects. AI crypto, obviously, AI is still the hottest industry in the world. That's number one. Number two is what's another hot? I like DPIN too, but that's a little bit more niche. I would say if I'm constructing a portfolio, I may not go as heavy into DePIN, but I think it would get a. What are some other sectors that did really well? I forget. Personally, no memes for me. I also think the meme top is in as a sector, just because of dilution. Let me see. One sec. Let me pull up CoinMarketCap categories.
Yeah, I have that actually right here if you want to take a look. So we have pretty much this is CoinMarketCap's top 12 crypto narratives. Meme coins, liquid restaking tokens, LSDs like Lido and such, blockchain modularity, which we're seeing start to pick up with, I guess, data availability and coins like Celestia. We have the layer ones, of course, layer twos, ZK, I guess it does count Bitcoin layer 2. To me, these are all
these are hot narratives. Yeah,
these are hot narratives, but all sort of within that same
DePIN. That's the one I said.
DePIN, DeSci. I haven't seen a ton of it.
Very niche. That's
very niche. Gamblify, I'm actually quite bullish on, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Me, it just goes so hand in hand. RWA has incredible.
Oh, RWAs. Yeah, I like that too.
Can't forget about RWA. Telegram
ecosystem
is making crazy strides. I just was looking at a few Telegram projects coming out. Of course, we've looked at some fun, silly ones like, Hamster Combat, Tap to Earns, cool. But when you use some of these trading bots, I'm not sure if you use trading bots, Kevin, but they're getting so robust, some of them. No matter what chain you're actually trading on. Not only that, you see projects like Bloom actually essentially starting to create entire exchanges just within Telegram alone, and the UX being so accessible and easy, whether you're technical or not. So the Telegram, I like that Telegram is in here as a narrative.
That's a great point. Telegram ecosystem, bullish.
Ecosystem, 100% bullish. So after taking a quick glance over that, what would you say is your top 3?
So hard to choose, man. I wish I had 5, but I'd say AI crypto.
Yeah.
Dang, this is hard. I want to say Telegram ecosystem, but that's hot right now, and I don't know if that's going to translate into the future though. Let's see. Bullish for the future. What else did I say? I said DePIN. DePIN, maybe not. Restaking could be big. Oh man, that's so hard. I'm gonna pass the ball to you because this is so hard for me. Yeah.
All right. So I say honorable mention to Telegram ecosystem. I'll say honorable mention. I can't throw them in for the same point that you said. It's something that definitely could have a season, but we're not sure about the lasting effect of it. In theory, to me, it makes a lot of sense, just for UX and for pretty much, from a UX standpoint, having it so easy. Whereas if you use bots and stuff before, you literally just tap or put in a little prompt. It's very straightforward. It literally holds your hand through it, and you can snipe tokens and do all sorts of different things. And the use cases are getting better and better because now they have whole applications within Telegram alone. So honorable mention to that. For the short term, I think can do very well. But my number one narrative I have to put on at the top spot, we got to go AI, because just AI as a whole, from a technological advancement standpoint and potential growth standpoint, I feel like we still can't even pinpoint how exponential the growth of AI is going to be. And when tied in the right way with cryptocurrency, I'm very bullish on. Number 2, I'm actually going to go RWA.
Okay, I like it.
Number 2, I'm actually going to go RWA because it just makes so much sense. And when we do get to that point where real world assets are being transacted on chain and the ease of ownership verification and everything is really in practice, like really works well in practice, I feel like that's something that's going to be game changing worldwide. when you're talking about real estate, even smaller assets, right? So that's
Yeah.
number 2. And then number 3, honestly, just because of the nature of crypto, maybe it's more of a medium to short term favorite narrative. You may not expect this one. I'm actually gonna go Gamblefy.
Nice.
I don't think we've actually seen the best of Gamblefy or anything close
Like
yet.
Rollbit. What else? What else is there?
There's Rollbit, there's Winner. Winner has gotten beat up this whole market, but there's a few different promising ones. There's Rollbit, there's Winner, and that's the thing right here. Off the top, you can't even really go a couple big winners. Rollbit is really the dominant one.
Yeah,
Now,
Rollbit was
I was in
there.
RLB. I was in RLB early when it had like a pretty good run there. But even still, I don't think Gamblefy has gotten anywhere close to where it's going. When you look at things like stake.com, you look at things like even Roobet, and just the size of some of those applications.
Yeah, those are huge.
Those are massive and do billions of dollars.
They also sponsor like everything.
Yeah,
like you see
that goes to
their
show.
logo sponsors on like everything.
UFC,
Yeah, exactly.
NASCAR, everything. And so I believe a crypto that does it right. I think Rollbit is actually very, very clean, actually. But there's a few things hanging around there. But just crypto by nature is very degen. It's already, like Gamblefy by nature. And sort of like especially within like, the core community, like CT and everything like that. I just feel like it ties in really well. So Gamblefy, I'm bullish on, and I like that you can be the house, right, rather than just be a player. You can invest in the casino, where you can't do that on things like stake.com, right? So that's what has me bullish. So do you have yours now?
Well, not really, but I was gonna say one thing that's really surprised me lately is the success of prediction markets like Polymarket.
Yes.
Polymarket's user graph or volume graph is like going parabolic. And it's showing perfect signs of product market fit for a crypto product. But the $1 billion question is if Polymarket can do well beyond just elections, because everyone is betting on election topics like will Biden, yeah, exactly, it's going parabolic, like will Biden drop out or things like that,
Right.
or who will be Trump's VP. People are betting on things like that, but can they sustain this past November, past the election, the US elections? That's the question. Like, hopefully people will use it to bet on other stuff like sports. Well, I mean, there's sports betting sites, but sports, politics, theoretically you can make markets for anything, but the question is what people are going to actually look. Can you pull up Polymarket? Actually, let's see.
Like the actual site?
Stuff. Yeah, the actual site. Polymarket.com. Elections, trade elections. Yeah, it's all elections right now. There's also sports, elections, sports. Oh, there's crypto topics too, of course.
Crypto, pop culture, business, science. I think this is honestly just one of the smartest projects overall.
But before it really popped off due to election stuff, it really wasn't that like used,
Right.
Yeah, so this is a great success story currently.
100%. And as you mentioned, like you just see that parabolic growth around the time of elections and the debates take off. Can it sustain that? I think some users will stick by, especially because something like this, there's always a trending topic. Obviously, not necessarily as big as the US election, but they can kind of always stay on top of some of the biggest trending narratives going on just in the news overall. So Polymarket's interesting, but I like seeing use cases like this. What I like about Polymarket is actually that they don't have any incentives and they don't have a token, and they're driving numbers like this. So it's going to show that,
And if you scroll all the way down on Polymarket, you'll see it powered by Polygon and UMA.
Ah, yes, the oracles, right? Oh, sorry.
I don't know. Actually, what is UMA, anyways? UMA.
Wait, UMA. No, sorry. I was thinking of another one.
It is oracles. Yeah,
It's
it's
oracles.
oracles.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense for the live data, the pricing data. So UMA Oracle. So yeah, it was UMA. Okay,
Dang,
cool.
nice. Powered by UMA and Polygon. I like it. I love
That's
to
huge.
see it.
It's interesting they didn't go Chainlink, but UMA, very cool.
Also, one of our comments said that Dicky Overshe said that he will sell his last BTC to buy Hamster Combat. It's Axie Infinity 2.0.
Okay, I like that. Bullish on
Did the
Hamster.
AXS or did Hamster Combat's token come out yet?
I don't believe so, but it is trading pre-market on Bybit. They created a
Okay.
pre-market for it.
Is it doing well?
I haven't really
Or is
tapped
it
in.
or did it open low?
I haven't tapped in. I've just been playing Hamster because
You're
it
gonna
is.
get a lot, right?
I hope
Hamster.
so. I hope so. Kevin knows I've been a little bullish on Hamster Combat. There are a lot of users, so it could be tough. But I was a little early to Hamster.
I've been playing
And
a different tap to earn game called Pixelverse. It's
yes, I
very
saw that.
similar. It's essentially a copy.
Okay. Yeah, I
But
saw
yeah,
that on your
Telegram bots are so easy to play. I can see why they get millions of players because the tap to earn is like you can do it and it doesn't take too much effort.
Yes, he's saying it's Axie 2.0.
That would be insane. Axie did
That would
like
be
a 1000x or 100x actually. Maybe not
yeah,
1000x.
Axie was a big
100x.
winner.
But that requires the market to recover first. That's yeah.
Yeah, good call.
Alrighty. This was a good stream. I don't think we need to necessarily force it to be long. I think we talked about a lot of interesting topics. Before Josh wraps it up, just want to remind that if y'all want to join our retail investors DAO, it's people like you and I, people like Josh, serious crypto investors who care about analysis, who care about alpha, and are not just trying to gamble on the next meme coin that some influencer posts and be the first one to click buy, right? If that's not you, if you want serious stuff, and actually put an effort to research, to analyze, to discuss, to debate, then join our Retail Investors DAO. The sign up form is linked below. And on to Josh to close us up.
Yeah, 100%. As Kevin said, like what we're doing right now, we're pretty much doing all day, every day. Join us in the Retail DAO to chop it up with us, discover more insight, discover more opportunities. So I think it's a really good opportunity for anyone who's looking to have an edge in their crypto investing journey. So be sure you join Retail DAO, link in the description. As we mentioned, we do this every single Friday. So we'll see you guys next Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern time for more crypto alpha
Next
and
Friday, same
updates.
time. And eventually, Josh, I think you will host one completely on your own.
That's right.
But this was great, and I will join next week's with you as well.
100%. Yeah, and we appreciate everyone in the audience. Thank you for participating, and we will catch you next week on Coinsider. Peace.
I want to press the end stream.
It's just it's just loading up.